Welcome to another episode of Touring the. I'm about to say Touring the AFC South again, folks. You gotta forgive me. I do have a couple podcasts. Welcome to another episode of This Woman Works, episode 30. And I wanted to bring on someone that I became familiar with a couple years ago. That I actually used to watch play basketball at Tennessee State University when she transferred here to Nashville, and I've been following her journey ever since. Someone that is definitely making a name for herself in the media world. That would be Miss Alexis Pierce. What's going on?
What's going on, Mike? Everything is good on my end.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I wanted to bring you on to kind of tell your story and your journey to where you are now. We're going to get into that. But first, of course, with every episode, we have the Black Girl Magic Moment. And with every Black Girl Magic Moment, I highlight someone that I think is doing great or has done great or is just a memorable person or does some memorable things or just celebrate someone. And in this episode, I want to celebrate an artist that has been in my top five on the Spotify Wrapped for as long as I can remember looking at it, and as long as I can remember listening to her music. She is very talented and has an eclectic way of where she delivers her music. Of course, some people don't like it, some people do. I tend to like it. But it is SZA. SZA, yes, I'm talking about SZA from the Control album, listening to The Weekend, Broken Clocks, Garden, Love Galore. Loved them songs, and I played them and wore them out. Yeah. And then, of course, SOS, listening to Kill Bill and all them songs too. Of course, hey, and then all the features, things like that. She does not miss with any features, does not miss with the songs. And I am definitely a fan and will continue to be a fan of her music. Hopefully, one day I will be able to interview her. But of course, I'm putting that out, from my lips to God's ears. But hopefully, one day I will be able to interview her as well. But I had to give a shout out to SZA. I mean, I hope she gets all the Grammys, all the awards, all those different things because I think she is truly a very, very talented artist and another of the one of the talented artists with Top Dog Entertainment. We all know who the other artist is on that label. That of course, we've been seeing him all 2024, definitely giving it to people. And by the way, that same artist that would be Kendrick Lamar and SZA are going on tour, and they're going on a stadium tour. And one of those stadium tours is the Rogers Center, which is actually Toronto, which is in June near Father's Day. So I'm just gonna throw that out there that yeah, he's still coming for next in the end of 2024 and then going into 2025 as well. Which I mean, honestly, I kind of laughed a little bit when I saw the tour dates and I looked and saw that one. But yeah, but getting back to SZA, I want to, of course, thank her for all the great contributions to music and contributions to music that I didn't know I needed when she first dropped the Control album, which I know she has albums before that, people I know. She's getting ready to drop an album. I think it's going to be named Lana as well. That'll be, I believe, next year, or maybe she surprises us and drops it this month, like she did the SOS album. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely had to show some love to SZA. Alexis, you got anything you want to add to that, or nah? If not, hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge SZA fan. I obviously know the Broken Clocks, like those are staples, but I'm not. They're not. She's not in my top five rap. Like I can say that she's not in my top five. So I don't really know much about her. I just know a few songs. I'm not really cultured with the SZA vibes. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That is a okay. Hey, I didn't know who Leon Thomas was until this year, and then I got on some Leon Thomas songs, and I was like, okay, why have I been missing out on this? But hey, there's always some artists that people don't know, that or people are not as familiar with, and hey, once you get to know them, never know. You might like me, you might not, but hey, it is what it is, and we've got to move on and get into an artist that I want more people to know, and that is you, Alexis. Um, Now, I want people to kind of learn your story and your origin. For those that don't know, where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, along the coastline. So Savannah, Georgia. I mean, a lot of people love Savannah, Georgia. I'm from here, so I think I'm forced to love it. But it's a very tourist city. Like everyone comes here a lot. But yeah, it's cool here.
Got you. And I know I believe I've been there before.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I've been there before. I've been there before, and I actually had a high school classmate that actually went to Savannah Art and Design down there.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
oh,
Yep. Scat.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Yep.
And he was telling me about how it was kind of oldish looking and whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. You know, he didn't really tell me a ton about the city, but he works for Google now, by the way. But yeah.
Doing well. Yeah, they've actually done a lot of renovation downtown the SCAD area. So I don't know when it was that he was there at SCAD, but they've definitely done some renovations and it looks super nice now. So
hmm Okay, so yeah, it was about I'm gonna age myself. It was about 20 years ago, 20
oh,
25 years ago almost.
that explains a
So,
little bit. That explains a
yeah,
little. I
no,
mean,
I know.
it's a it is a Savannah historic. The downtown area is a historic area. So 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age. You know, people don't know I'm 42 years old. Yeah, but let's see. So, how was it growing up in Savannah?
Oh man, it was honestly great growing up in Savannah. I'm the only and the youngest girl of two older brothers, so a lot of my time was spent outside, playing pick 'em up, bust 'em up, playing
hmm
basketball, playing throwing the baseball out in the front yard. Had a lot of boyfriends, like boyfriends, not boyfriends.
Yeah, I know what
So
you
we
meant.
were. So I was definitely a tomboy growing up. So a lot of my time I didn't play with dolls. I didn't um, stay inside and watch TV. All of my time was majority spent outside doing something extracurricular. That's how I kind of got into the field of playing basketball was because of my brother. So, I mean, honestly, it was cool just growing up being outside with the boys. That was just my favorite thing to do. Literally from sun up to sundown. Like I would hear my mom call my name when the street lights is on. Like I hated it. I was ready to go at it again the next day. Like it was literally that was my routine, my ritual, especially in the summertime. But then as I got to going to school and stuff, I would just go to school, go to practice. It was really my life was just honestly centered around sports, whether it had been me playing the actual sport or me going to my brother's games. Um, that's pretty much it. It's supposed to just be me, my brothers, and my dad and my mom. Honestly, just the five of us. So.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, you sound I would say, of course me and you aren't the same person, but of course you sound like me when I was growing up in terms of being in sports all the time. It's football, basketball, baseball, football, basketball, baseball, football. But I was literally rotating that probably till I was like 11 or 12. And then I just
Mhm.
decided one day, like, yeah, baseball, I'm done with you. Let me do
Yeah.
AAU basketball. I couldn't do it anymore. It's just, it was rough. I guess it's just like you stand out there and I was an outfielder. So they put
Oh.
me in the outfield because I was the most athletic player on the team.
Mhm.
So they knew if it was ball to the gap or ball to the fence, I'd have an opportunity to catch it or jump up on
Yeah.
the fence to catch it or or run back and catch whatever. So yeah, they put me out there and I'd just be out there just lost in space sometimes. Sometimes I would miss a play but still be able to catch up to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pretty much.
So
That's
and
athleticism. Like I played softball and soccer. I even played golf at one point. Like nothing was foreign to me. Like I always wanted to get my hands into something. I was super competitive too. So like I just always been an athlete, just super athletic. So I could honestly play any sport until I couldn't play all the sports. I had to, you know, figure out what I
mhm.
wanted to do ultimately.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I could tell when I watched you play at Tennessee State. I was like watching you play. I was like, yeah, she is definitely into it out there. I could just see the expressions on your face, of like when you were irritated with something, or when you were like, okay, this cannot be life. We got to make this better. I could
Yeah.
just see that in your face when you were playing, and I appreciated that because you were out there, and I was like, okay, she's not gonna let this go down on her watch. It might
No.
be a foul or something, or she might miss a shot, but she's not gonna let this go down on her watch. And I greatly appreciated watching that on the court.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not the person you wanna like. I can't hide my facial expressions in anything. Like, you'll my face will show up before my mouth says it. So I'm really that type of person. And then considering just me being a captain on a team, so I was super just always had my teammates' backs, whatever the case might have been. Like I always had to be the person to talk to the refs and just kind of calm my teammates down. But you always see it on my face. Like even it doesn't even have to be playing. Like I'll just it's my face literally. I will give a facial expression if I'm feeling a certain type of way. I'm like I gotta tame that a little bit. I have to figure just kind of be
I,
like blank a little bit, but it's hard.
I understand. I understand. It definitely is hard. It's something you learn as you continue to mature and get older.
Mhm.
Not to say you haven't matured at all, but I'm just saying, as you get older, you kind of learn those different things sometimes. But I will say that, of course, it was a pleasure watching you play basketball for
Yeah.
Tennessee State. I mean, it was for 1 year. Now
Yeah.
you did play a previous institution,
Mhm.
but yeah, I will say that it definitely was great to watch you play and the effort that you exuded every time you were on the court. And of course, you did make a transition off the court. We're going to get to that, but I do have one other question. When you were
That's
growing up and you were playing with your brothers and playing till the lights came on and going to do this, that, and the other. Um, what was something that you imagined that you were going to be when you grew up when you were a kid?
I always knew I was gonna play basketball when I was growing up. I didn't know how far it would go. Like I used to, I'm going to WNBA. Like that was kind of my main thing. Like I knew I wanted to play professionally. Like I was like a diehard. Like I'm gonna go play professionally, to the league. But obviously, God had other plans for me. But I just always knew that that's what I wanted to do. I don't know what my life would kind of be like without sports, to be honest. Like, I don't think I would be who I am today, if I didn't play a sport. I don't know. I think I would. I don't know who I would be, honestly. Like my life, I live, eat, breathe, sleep sports. Even now, like even though I don't play it, I still watch it. I still listen to podcasts. I still am around the game. I'm still always involved. Like even my job, like I am sports. So I don't know honestly what my life would have been like without sports. I've always dreamt. I've always imagined that I would be doing something in sports. So that's kind of where I am right
Okay.
now. So I don't think I let my younger
Hmm.
self down yet. So
Well,
other than the fact
that's
that I didn't make it
awesome.
to the WNBA, but I also very realistic too with myself in terms of not even just my talents, just in the world of the WNBA. It's just it's a lot there. So in
Gotcha.
terms
I
of
understand.
teams and you know what I mean. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there's limited spots, and
limited.
definitely it's a lot of fighting for them spots as well. And and I would say this, as you had a dream to be a WNBA player, I had a dream to be an NFL player, and I think we both stopped at the same point in college. In college, when I got to college, I was like, yeah, this I ain't gonna make it past this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah,
about
I don't know if I
it.
got the skills to do that.
Yeah, that's about
Was
it for me.
that?
But I was okay with that too. I was like, that's about it for
Hmm.
me. Like after I didn't even honestly didn't even know I was gonna go to TSU if it wasn't for the extra year of eligibility. I wouldn't have known honestly what I was doing next. But obviously, God had other plans, like I said, and made us to TSU, met you, obviously. So and here we are. Everything works itself out. I'm never like I'm always content with how my life kind of goes in terms of my plans versus his plans because my plans don't matter. You know what I mean? So God's plans is what's for
Hmm.
me. So whatever is in his will for my life, I'm all for it. So I'm never discouraged, never just all out of sorts because something didn't turn out my way. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right. You laid a word there, Reverend. You laid a word there, Reverend. But I'll definitely say that, of course, you like you said, didn't make to the WNBA, but you are making an impact in what you're currently doing. We're going to get into what you're currently doing now, of course, after this commercial break on This Woman Works with my guest, Alexis Pierce.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off all these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works with my guest, Alexis Pierce. Now, of course, Alexis, I know some of you may be wondering, you may not be wondering, but, I'll just say it. EBO Beard Butter, of course, we're not, I know this is a show for women and basically highlighting women. And, of course, some are probably wondering why EBO Beard Butter is a commercial on a show that's highlighting Black women. Okay, we're gonna break that down. Reason why that's commercial on the show with Black women is because a lot of times us brothers do not know how to take care of ourselves. We try, but we don't necessarily take care of ourselves well. And who better than Black women to be able to show us things or give us things to take care of ourselves? So if Black women are watching, they're going to see that one and be like, hey, maybe you need something for your beard that's a little scruffy or something of that nature. So that's why EBO Beard Butter is a commercial on this show. I didn't know if you were wondering that, Alexis, or not, but I do have some people that have to look like, why in the heck is this commercial on here? So, I figured I'd explain that a little bit.
Oh no, I didn't even think about it. I was interested in the beer butter. I don't know. I'm like, I like beer butter. I love that concept, but I didn't even think about it that much, honestly, in terms of it being a Black woman podcast. Like, works for me.
Yeah. There we go. And then of course Christmas is coming up. People got 21 days and he can ship it out to you too. Let's What's that?
The time is just moving. It's already what you said, 21 days until Christmas. Jeez.
21. Yeah, it's shocking me too. I mean, but the days go by fast as well. Once you kind of, I guess, transition out of playing sports, you really don't want it to go by fast. But hey, it is what it is. But getting back to the conversation, of course, like I mentioned before the commercial break, former athlete, of course, playing days are over now. You're into, you made the switch from, playing to actually covering now. That was one point, which I remember doing the sideline reporting for Tennessee State University. I remember our conversations before the game, looking at the teams, and you'd ask me, give me something. I was like, okay. I'm sitting there in my mind like, oh, okay, let me think about this team just a little bit. But I mean, I greatly appreciated those conversations. But, can you tell everyone what your current title is now?
Yeah, so I'm a social media coordinator for Athletes Unlimited. Basically, what that entails is just me with the team, obviously, of other graphics and video team, photography team as well. We have 4 different sports: lacrosse, basketball, softball, and volleyball. And we basically just gather content, evergreen content, in-season content of our athletes during sport, off season as well. For our social medias, we have Instagram, Twitter, X, excuse me, YouTube.
Just call it the artist formerly known as Twitter. Just call it that. That's what I call it.
I don't really. It's like something blue sky now or something like that. I'm not.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm on there. I'm on there. It's fun.
You're on there. I need to download and see what it's talking about. But like I said, ultimately just covering our athletes, covering the different sports that we have. Currently, I'm transitioning as well right now to just kind of solely doing basketball right now, but haven't really transitioned, but right now I'm transitioning. Right now we're actually headed into basketball season, which will be in Nashville this year.
Yes.
Yeah, which will be in Nashville. So if you guys ever in Nashville next year, February 5th to March 2nd is our season. So it's a 4 week season. So yeah, come watch some really talented basketball women's basketball players. That I'm going to preface this actually and say that this is an all women's sports league. Athletes Unlimited is, if you weren't aware.
Mhm.
So it's only women's sports. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I do and what my title is at Athletes Unlimited.
Yes, yes, yes. And for those that don't know, I'm gonna say it again. You just said it, Alexis. If I'm gonna say it again, it is February 5th through March 2nd. It's gonna be at the Municipal Auditorium, Nashville, Tennessee. I need you to go online, buy tickets, show up, show your voice, show Athletes Unlimited that Nashville can pack out a house, can support women's basketball. I need y'all to get there now. Okay, I had to do my little infomercial, but you know, I want to kind of, you went from playing to now covering to now doing social media and everything there. What kind of made you, or what started you thinking about, getting into media and covering it as well, covering sports as well?
Honestly, just the fact that like I communicate well. Like I got my minor in communications. Like I've just always been able to I can't obviously I can't talk. I've been able to articulate
I
very
had
well and something
also.
that I've always wanted to do, just be on camera. But what's better thing to do is be on camera talking about something you're very passionate about. So it kind of just made sense for me. I kind of got introduced when I was at Jacksonville University where I got my undergrad and I played there. So I was able to do like a lot of internships in Jacksonville. I was able to do sideline for our men's basketball games when I wasn't playing. So it just I became passionate ever since then. Like I said, I did have a lot of internships. I worked at a news station. So it just is something that I was like, okay, something I think I really, really want to do. At first, I would just say it, but then as I start to actually do it and I got comfortable, it's something I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then a lot of people, I started to create like a network for myself, a circle, if you will, of women who I kind of looked up to in the field, and I'm like, hey, that she can do it, I can do it. So since then, I've just been super passionate about it. I haven't yet landed my mark in just broadcasting, but ultimately working towards that right now. I've done broadcasting, but in terms of it being an actual career path right now for me, or career right now for me, it's not. Uh, I'm not doing it right now, but I look to in the future just be solely broadcast, sideline, color commentary, or wherever God takes me. I'm not really like, oh, I want to be at ESPN. I want to do it for the W, or whatever the case may be. It's just mostly like just continuing to build my reel and continue to get the reps until I land something that God wants me to be. So
Got you. So, what was you mentioned you started doing this kind of at Jacksonville, which is where you got your undergrad. What was it like the first time you actually held the mic and were doing like the sideline reporting? What was that feeling like?
yeah, it was nerve wracking, if you will. Like although I prepared a lot. I had, obviously some insight and people helping me and stuff. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to be a high pressure situation, but obviously a perfectionist. I wanted to be like I'm still in school. Like I'm only like 18 or 19, 20 at the time. So I'm like, okay, I want to do well, obviously, but the first time I actually had a mic, I was really nervous. I feel like I couldn't talk, I couldn't articulate anything I was trying to say. I was trying to read verbatim or memorize verbatim what I had written in my notes on my phone, which I think also kind of messed me up because I'm like, no, that's not what I wrote. That's not what I wrote. I want to say exactly how I wrote it, and I just made it way too complicated on myself. But yeah, I think it was very nerve wracking for me. I will say. But yeah.
I hear you there. Look, the first time I ever did a show or a podcast, and people saw me, oh yeah, I'm over here like I said probably about like a 50 times that first episode. Yeah, it was bad. It was just bad.
That's
But
okay.
yeah,
That's
obviously the growth has
growth.
happened.
Yeah, growth has, and that's in anything though. Like that's in anything that we do. From
Hmm.
even little kids to walking, learning how to walk. You fall down, you get back up. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I think us
Hmm.
as perfectionists though, and we want to do everything well. I think that's where I kind of was my downfall, wanting to be perfect. I didn't say exactly how I'd imagine. As long as I was able to articulate what I was trying to say, so that the viewers and the audience could understand. I think I thought I did pretty good starting off.
There we go. That's all that matters. Hey, the growth, like you said. Um, okay, what was the one moment? I know you said it's what you wanted to do in terms of on the sidelines, things like that, and the nerve wracking from the first time doing it.
Mhm.
But when was that one moment where you were like, I'm where I'm supposed to be, or I can do this? Where's that one moment where you felt that in your mind that I can do this?
Um, it probably wasn't until probably wasn't until I got to TSU and I was actually on call. I was actually like a regular doing covering women's or our women's basketball team. That's when I was like,
Hmm.
okay, this is something that I feel like I could definitely see myself doing. And it just became I got more comfortable. I really got more comfortable because I was doing it a lot. I was doing it. I did sideline for the men's, and I actually did, and that was my first time doing color, and that was my first time when I was doing color for women's basketball for TSU. I love just being able to break it down. Like that was just my favorite part. I feel like sideline is cool. Don't get me wrong. That was my first. That's when I realized I wanted to do it. But then when I was sitting in that chair and we were bouncing off of each other, and I was able to really dissect it. How I would normally do, probably like in the den with my dad. Like I think that's what and my brothers, like that's what we do anyway. Like we'll sit and watch a game, and it's just comfortable for me. So it's like I'm kind of chopping it up with my dad and my brothers. You know what I mean? Just on the couch, but I'm not on the couch. I'm in a chair with play by
Hmm.
play. But that's what it felt like to me.
Hmm.
So yeah, and it was a unique situation because I had played with those girls previously the year before, and that was my previous coach as well, Coach Ty Evans. So I knew these girls and I knew the opponents as well. So I played in the OVC. So it was something like I'm like, okay, it's easier for me right now because I know who they are. I know what their concepts are. I know what they want to do. So I'm like, this is fun. I want to do this. Um,
Hmm.
that's when I realized I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. This is what I want to do. And then I began to just start doing other ventures. I went to the HBCU NBA showcase in Vegas, and then I did HBCU baseball in Atlanta, and then I went to the Final Four, and then it just all just be and at the same time still building my network. So I'm getting to know other people that's in the field, who's helping me, who are being mentors to me as well. So, and they're telling me that I can do it. You want to have people around you who are um, feeding into you and building you up at the same time as well. Because in a occupation like working in this space is not easy thing to do. So you want to have people around you who are building you up, speaking life into you, saying that you are enough, that you can do it. It is room for you. So at that point for me, and I think that's when it became um, really real. So I'm a black woman in sports. I'm a black woman who can cover a male-dominated sport. Um, so
All right. All right. Yeah. So I definitely, I'm definitely have been watching your journey. I've been keeping up. Might not talk a lot, but I always keep up. And it's definitely been good to see your journey. I definitely remember you calling games. I believe you were calling them with Will Brown.
yeah, I was.
Yeah. So Yeah, definitely remember that. Remember going being at the games. I'm like, okay, cool. She's definitely diving into the things that she wants to do. And of course, with everything though, there's always challenges. And I
Mhm.
don't know, you've probably experienced your share of challenges, but we're gonna get into those. But first, another commercial break on This Woman Works with my guest, Alexis Pierce.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, we are back on This Woman Works with your host, Mike Patton, and my guest, Alexis Pierce. Now, before we went to the commercial break, I did mention challenges. Of course, in everything that you want to do in life, there is some challenges that can happen. And Alexis, what has been a challenge that you have faced along your journey?
Yeah, I think for me, just trying to um, go fast, if you will. I've always been just my mom comes calls me a bunny rabbit because like I'm always just on the move. I'm always just going, 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 and yeah, that's been challenging for me because I'm just like I don't need to do that. I just need to be where my feet are, learn as much as I can, and then go from there. I think a lot of times I would just like, what do I need to do next? How can I do this? I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And I always find myself just trying to be somewhere. And it's like, where are you going? Like you're 25 now. I'm 25 and that time I would be only 19, 20 years old. It's like, and I'm still in school. Like I'm like, I didn't give myself grace, I guess if you will. I'm like, I need to be here. I'm supposed to be here. I'm like, I don't know why I thought like that. But I'm definitely working on that now. Just from a lot of different facets of my life right now, but and talk about the maturity aspect as well. But I just always wanted to be somewhere fast and wanted to just dibble and there's nothing wrong with dibbling and dabbling in different things, but I think it's also important to understand that you can be good in a lot of things, but you also need to master something. You have to be really good at
Hmm.
something. You know what I mean? So I always found myself being good at stuff, always wanting to do stuff and being like, having interest in it. And I would be like, well, what am I actually mastering? Like, well, you always want to do different things. So I think now for me, it's just being where my feet are. It's not being complacent, but it's just learning, it's growing. Like you're 2 years removed from school, like you don't have that responsibility. You're not an athlete anymore. Now you're a professional. Now it's time to learn those ins and outs of professionalism. It's time to build that real. It's time to do the things I necessarily didn't do because I'm trying to be somewhere so fast. And I think that was my downfall at sometimes. I just always wanted to reach for the stars, um, which isn't, like I said, which isn't a bad thing to do, but it's just doing it with structure. Doing it and like I was wanted to do broadcast. I was super raw. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I just was doing it because I was just a go getter. Like you know what I mean. So I when I realized that I just need to chill out, just be where my feet are, learn a lot, soak everything and be a sponge. I think that's, and I'm still working on it. I'm not saying I'm just like not working on it. I'm not saying that I'm just fully recovered from being just doing all the things, but I've definitely reached a point in my life at 25. I have a full-time job I have to be really good at. So I think that for me a hard thing for me to do because I always was wanting to just do all the things. And I always found myself stretching myself too much so where I'm having to do all this stuff, but I'm also overwhelmed at this point. You know what I mean? So from I guess for me the adversity was stop being a bunny rabbit, like my mom calls me. Don't be a bunny rabbit. Be just someone who thrives in doing one thing good, really, really good. And although I am capable of doing all the things, just because you're capable of doing all the things doesn't mean you necessarily have to. Um,
Mhm.
so I think that for me was something that I had to learn and give myself grace because everybody's journey is different. How you're maneuvering, how I'm maneuvering, how the next person that's their journey. So I think for me, just like I said, being where my feet is, being a sponge, soaking up as much as I can, so that when it is time for me to move, when God gives me that word to move, then I'll be fully prepared. I feel like I've used to go into things not. I used to just go off the fact that I'm competitive and I'm a go getter. Like it was just raw. Like it wasn't like
Mhm.
structured. I'm like now I'm moving different. I'm moving more professional. I'm moving more with more maturity. About my just wanting to do all the things, not um, that's a word for somebody, but that's a word for me because I used to be just all over the place. But I'm okay. Like I'm so good. I am good at what I'm doing, learning a lot. And I'm so proud of myself. You love you can't stay good.
Uh, yeah, a little bit of a, I guess a little bit of a sound issue as well. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
There we go. There we go. I don't know what was going on, but the sound was kind of messing up a little bit there for a second. But we're good. And I think we got everything. My apologies there, anyone, if you didn't get to hear everything. The wonderful words of Mr. Alexis Pierce. Um, you kind of went into what I was going to mention next in terms of the most important piece of advice that was given to you, and it sounds like your mom is very, very pivotal in that advice in terms of stop being a bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
That probably the best bit of advice that anyone's ever given you.
Yeah, probably that's definitely one of them. I've obviously been given a lot of good advice from really good people that I've met along my journey. But one has always kind of stuck with me, and it's not from somebody I know. It's actually from Will Smith. And it is he has a quote, and it says, "If you aren't making somebody else's life better, you're wasting your time." And I can you hear me? I want to make sure
Hmm.
everybody can hear
Yeah.
me. But no, like I'm really an advocate for just helping people, and I knew I was not put on this earth to for myself. You know what I mean? So I'm always just willing and always willing to help people. If I'm not helping somebody, I'm not making my life better. I'm not. What am I doing here? So I'm always trying to figure out ways to help somebody else, as well as help myself. But I think that is really crucial in terms of just um, being who you are so that other people can feel seen, like how like I have mentors and like how I have people that I look up to. I want to be the person that somebody else looks up to and help them out as well. So I think that's another good nugget of advice that I've always kind of took with me everywhere I've gone. But throughout the years, I've had numerous people give me tons of great advice. Throughout the years, control the controllables. Like that's something I just tweeted
Mm-hmm.
yesterday or the day before yesterday. Control the controllables. You can only literally, and that probably goes into what I was previously talking about, and just being able to control what you can control. Like you can't worry about what's not happening or what didn't work out. You can only control what you can control, and that's pretty much it. And then also live off scripture as well. Yeah, I live off advice, but I also live off scripture as well. So that's also been a beacon in my life and something that I've incorporated in my daily routine as well. So
Okay. All right. Live off scripture. That's the first time I've heard that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Um, let's see. So the last thing I would ask is, or would ask you is, what is a bit of advice you give to someone that's maybe playing basketball now and has aspirations to be in media as well? What would be a bit of advice that you would give that person?
so they're playing basketball and they want to be in media.
Or playing sports and wanted to, kind of transition to media. They knew, of course, that's where their next steps would be.
Yeah, yeah, I would just say honestly, go for it. Like, don't hold back. Go for it full fledged. That's something that you're really passionate about doing. And it can be scary. Like, it can be scary to just go into this field, go into this space, especially if you don't have people around you. That was my next bit of advice. Get a network. Get people that are doing what you are doing, that are doing what you want to do, um, and allow them to invest and build you up and tell you what it is that you need to do. Like I said, everybody's journey is different, but having people around you who are like minded as you, who want you to succeed, want you to be successful, have that's the best thing for you. You don't want to have people around you that aren't going to help you
Mhm.
ultimately. I mean, you want people around you that are where you want to be, doing better than you. I only want people around me that are doing better than me, so I can have something to look forward to, so they can be able to give me advice. If both of us on the same level, or if they're under me, what can they do for me, or what can I do for them ultimately? Not saying you can't have those people, because everybody serves as different people in your life, but it's just, especially in your professional life, having people around you who are doing what you are doing so that they can help you. And then, like I said, just go for it. I know it can be scary. I know it can be just nerve wrecking. But go go for it. Go all out. Get the reps in. Do as many reps. Fail forward. Like Will Smith. I don't know. I love Will Smith at this point, because I know a lot of his quote, fail forward, he says. And I love that quote as well, because if you make 100% of the shots that you take, what are you going to learn? So miss
Mhm.
shots, miss them, fail forward, fail often, fail frequently, fail as much as you can, um, because ultimately you'll be on the other side of the failure, which is success. So that would be my bit of advice.
Okay, all right. I had me looking up Will Smith quotes now. Okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
got
Will
it.
Smith, he comes through with the bangers. Like he
Mhm.
comes through with the bangers, and I'll be like, yes, I receive that. And fail often, fail forward,
Mhm.
fail as much as you need to before you figure it out. You know what I mean? So
Mhm. Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. So it has been a pleasure getting to know your journey from Savannah to Jacksonville to Tennessee State to Athletes Unlimited. But of course, I would like to get our viewers to get to know you a little bit more. Maybe just something just totally different. It's called Speed Round. It's got 10 questions, 10 random questions. You don't know any of these questions I'm throwing at you. So this is going to be fun. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Favorite, oh, sorry. If you could sit down with one person and pick their brain, who would it be? Dead or alive?
Kobe Bryant,
Okay. All right. Favorite movie?
um, Polar Express.
Polar
No,
Express.
remember
Oh,
the
that's
Titans. Sorry, remember the Titans.
ah.
Christopher Nolan.
Okay. All right.
Remember the Titans, my
I was
favorite movie.
Okay. All right. Got you. Got you. Your favorite artist?
Maverick City Music.
Ah, okay. All right. Now, okay. Going to church. Okay. All right. The worst movie you've ever seen?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because it was my worst movie. I don't know. I can't tell you. I've seen a lot of bad movies.
I hear you there. I hear you there. I'm gonna let you slide on the game on that one. I'm gonna let you slide. But your favorite athlete? I think I know what this answer is gonna be.
You think you know my favorite athlete? Is it going to
I
be Kobe
might.
Bryant?
Yeah.
That's
That's what
one
I
of my
was.
favorite athletes. But on the women's side, probably Candace Parker, Maya Moore.
Hmm.
For me right now. Well, not was been.
Oh,
It's been Maya Moore and Candace Parker for me for the women's side, and
got
then
you.
it's
No,
Kobe
definitely.
Bryant, Kevin Durant for the men's side.
Got you. Got you. Definitely always been a Candace Parker fan
Yeah.
for sure. Since she played for University of Tennessee, since I've always been a Ladies Vols fan. So, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely been a big fan of hers for a long time. Best childhood memory.
Oh, I don't know. Just being able to uh, probably my favorite childhood memory, probably like I said, just being outside playing. Like that
Hmm.
was probably when I was the most carefree. I didn't care. My hair looked like mess. I used to walk around with green patches on my jeans from being in the on the dirt playing with boys. Like that was probably just like the funnest memory for me. Like just being able to be so carefree and doing whatever I wanted as a kid. I think that's probably the funnest thing or my best memories.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. I got a good memory and a bad memory from running around as a kid. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, so I have
Hey, kids.
a lot of just stuff on my legs and on my arms. Like I have a lot of bad memories from it too.
Oh, I got a bad memory, but I can't tell that memory on air because all I can say is, kids, tell your parents where you're going to when you go somewhere and go outside. That's all I'm gonna say on that one.
Yeah.
Because it didn't end well for me. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Your favorite food?
Uh, Seafood is my favorite food, but salmon is my favorite food. Like I love
Okay.
seafood. I love like a good seafood boil, but if I could eat something every day, it would be salmon.
Okay. All right. Best vacation?
That I have or haven't taken.
Have taken.
I have taken probably Miami for my 25th birthday. Yeah,
Hmm.
probably Miami. That was fun.
Got you. Got you. Now, if you haven't been, I will tell you this: put Toronto for the summer on your list. I'll tell you
Okay,
that now.
I will
Because
do
I
it.
went to Toronto, got to go to Brunch Fest, got to go to Little Italy Fest up there. Good gracious, it's about 20 blocks of just tons of people and
Okay.
dancing and moving. And I was like, good gracious. And then you had the Brunch Fest. Basically, you try and brunch from all across the world or food from all across the world in that one place. It was
Okay,
it
I'm
was
gonna put
insane.
that on my list then.
Favorite song right now?
Probably More Than Able or Good News by Maverick City Music.
Okay, all right. A lot of Maverick City music here. Okay.
Love
Favorite
Maverick.
food spot?
Oh, um, honestly, I don't have a favorite food spot, but it would probably be something seafood. I don't have a favorite
Mhm.
spot, honestly.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we have finished the speed round. 10 questions. You're off the hot seat,
That was
and we've reached the end of the show.
speed. That suck.
What's that?
Was that supposed to be speed? I was supposed to answer those questions quick.
No, you good. No worries.
I was
No
gonna say I
worries.
suck with that. I answered those questions quick. Ignore that I even answer half of them right. But
Nah, you good. A lot of times, look, I call it the speed round, but it never ends up being the speed round because I always get a story to go along with like but it
yeah,
happens. It is what it is. But I want to thank you, Miss Alexis Pierce, for coming on the show. If you can, tell everyone where they can find you on social media and any things that you're working on. And again, talk about Athletes Unlimited. Going to be here in Nashville, February 5th, March 2nd. But anyway, I didn't want to steal your thunder. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got
no, yeah. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at AlexisPierce.tv as well as on X at AlexisPierce.tv. My main account on Instagram is LaFlex, not LA Flex, LaFlex underscore. Um, Yeah, right now we are full fledged and getting ready for Nashville, February 5th to March 2nd. Be there, all your favorite athletes, Alicia Clark, Sydney Fosun. We got everybody. So excited for
Mm-hmm.
season 4 in Nashville. So there we
Yep.
go.
You got Isabel Harrison, I think, too.
And we got all the Tennessee well-known names at this point. So, and
Mm-hmm.
we're only halfway through our roster right now. So be on the lookout for about 20 more to come. So
Yes, yes, I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that, and I can't wait to get there and watch and cover some games. But of course, for those that don't know me, I'm the host of This One Works. My name is Mike Patton. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton82. That's MikePaton 82. Artist formerly known as Twitter. Hey, word to Prince, one of the greatest artists of all time. You can find me on Instagram and Threads. Oh, I'm sorry. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Mike Patton 82 as well. Same thing. Um, Instagram and Threads, you can find me there at that's THA, not THE, underscore general underscore MP. I was about to do it again. I was about to say about the other podcast again. But anyway, This Woman Works. You can find This Woman Works on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And you can find it on the Mike Patton Podcast Network. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode. Now, the Mike Patton Podcast Network is on YouTube, y'all, by the way. But I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of This Woman Works, episode 30 with Miss Alexis Pierce. Thank you all for tuning in, and we're out. Peace.